Hi Scorpio, welcome to your September 2019 Astrology 33 bonus love reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And just to let you guys know, I actually won't be offering personal readings this month. It's possible I'll resume them by the time I start recording the October videos. If that's the case, I'll give you guys an update in those videos. But worst case, maybe early October at the latest would be when I pick them up again. And also, for those of you who've never seen this spread before, this is a spread that I refer to as a bridging the gap spread, and the way it works is the cards on the left side here represent your energy towards the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. These would be the past energies, present energies, future energies, and then once we're done with all that, we'll actually pull some oracle cards to help, tie everything together, and that's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's get started with your spread. A lot of Sagittarius energy in this spread, by the way, so maybe you're dealing with a Sagittarius, I don't know, or maybe you have some Sagittarius placements in your chart as well. But in the past position on your side, we have the Fortune card, so that's the equivalent of the Wheel of Fortune. So a few different things come to mind with this for me. This can be saying that maybe in the past, you might have had some difficulty with your finances, and maybe now that Jupiter has started to go direct again, you've actually had some improvement in that area of life. And you know how that goes. Sometimes by getting that improvement, that can make your relationship life a bit easier as well. But another vibe I'm getting here is possibly you've been in a manifestation mode too, because I look at the person sitting there and that person doesn't look like they're physically present. So I'm getting the vibe that maybe you're just in a bit of a manifestation mode with that Jupiter energy. And another way this could play out too is, that also if that Sagittarius energy, that could be saying that this is someone that's been at a distance from you. So another way this could be playing out as well is maybe you were living at a distance from someone, and maybe what's happened in the recent past is maybe you've moved toward them or them toward you. Also, you could have been learning, maybe you were in college, for example, maybe you were studying abroad, or maybe even just on vacation, and you might have met someone that you really hit it off with, but there was that physical distance between the two of you. So, there might have been some difficulty bridging that gap, but it looks like in the recent past, for whatever reason, that gap might have closed. Past energy on their side, we actually have the Temperance card. So here again, we have another indicator of Sagittarius energy. So this is also about balance. So this could just be someone that, maybe you've met, right? And maybe on the surface there could have seemed to have been a lot of differences between the two of you. Because that's another vibe with Sagittarius energy too, right? It often represents foreign land sometimes. So this could be someone with a different ethnicity than you, religious background, whatever the case. But at the same time, with that temperance energy, it could just be saying that they balance you out in some way. So it actually ends up what on the surface might have looked like it wouldn't have worked out necessarily. It does seem to balance out very well between the two of you. This can just represent a bit of passionate energy between the two of you as well. And another way this could play out, actually, something I'm getting is it could even be someone that you've been friends with as well. It's a pretty random vibe, but yeah, it could be one of those things where maybe this is someone you've been friends with for a long time, and maybe you're trying to escalate that, or they're trying to escalate it with you. In the present position on your side, we have the Two of Cups and the Five of Staves. So the Five of Staves is actually the equivalent of the Five of Wands, which is Leo energy. And then this here, the Two of Cups, is Cancer energy. So interestingly enough, for you guys, Cancer is your ninth house, and Sagittarius is the natural ruler of the ninth house. So again, there's that connection there. Maybe this was someone at a distance from you. Maybe they're in some kind of a field in their career that's very competitive. So maybe they're always on the go, for example, and maybe now, for whatever reason, they're actually able to be more present in your life. And maybe that's where the Two of Cups energy is coming into play, because it almost looks like they're being reunited in a way. I kind of get that feel from the artwork here. But at the same time, there's stormy waters. So, if we look at the lightning in the background, right, it looks like there was some kind of storm dynamic recently. One of the cups is knocked over. So compared to the Rider-Waite Two of Cups, To me, this represents there could have been some difficulty for you guys to get here. There might have even been, like I said, maybe it was a physical separation with distance, right? Since we have that Sagittarius energy in the past, and maybe now for whatever reason that's come to a close. And another way it could be playing out is just saying that, maybe this is someone that either has a lot of suitors or you have a lot of suitors with that Five of Staves energy, saying that, it might have been a challenge to actually get it to where it was just the two of you, but it does seem as if you're accomplishing that this month. The present energy on their side is the Eight of Wands. So again, this is more Sagittarius energy. And this also represents a lot of action being taken. Sometimes it's seen as communication, but it can be anything. Just a lot of movement. Represents the first 10 degrees of Sagittarius. So it's like that release from that Scorpio energy right into the fiery Jupiter energy. So once again, we see that tie. So this can't even be someone that maybe you've met in the workplace as well. That's also a possibility. Or maybe while you were trying to improve your finances. So again, maybe if you were enrolled in a class to, get some kind of certification, maybe you were in college, for example, could have been where you met this person. But either way, it looks like things are definitely moving forward between the two of you with the Eight of Wands energy here. So that definitely seems to be an overall positive. And then the future energy on your side, we have the Prince of Staves, which is the equivalent of the Knight of Wands, so more Sagittarius energy, and Transformation, which is the equivalent of the Death card, which is actually the major arcana card for Scorpio. So these two cards together are interesting. Now, one thing this can be saying is that maybe this is someone who brings you out of your comfort zone, right? And maybe this is what it's all about. But in a positive way, where you're able to embody some more of that fiery get up and go energy, but also at the same time still be true to yourself and still maintain your roots, right? Which sounds like a pretty win-win situation. Another way this can play out though is with that distance vibe that I was getting with all the Sagittarius energy. This could just be saying that either you or they might actually have to move away again, which could cause a quote-unquote transformation or death to the connection, right? And if that's the case, I actually pick up on that this is more of an on-again, off-again dynamic, because if we look at the names in this particular deck for the transformation card, we have Pluto and Persephone. So that's that, that story of there's basically 6 months on, 6 months off type of vibe with the connection. So that could be what type of connection this is, where, maybe you guys did end up getting things off the ground for a while, right? But then maybe in the future, either you or they will actually have to move away again. And there might even be some awareness of that. And even if it's not physical distance, maybe this is just the nature of your connection, where it seems very cyclical, like, okay, you guys separate for a while, right? And then, but there's always that pull pulling the two of you back together. So, that could be a karmic thing, absolutely. And maybe there's some lesson that needs to be learned there. But for others of you, it can just be distance. And like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to mean the ending at all, especially since this is your card. Like I said, for some of you, it can just be that they're bringing you out of your comfort zone a bit, but in a good way, where you're able to be a bit more open and expressive, but still maintain your identity at the same time, And then the future energy on their side, if I could pick up the card, there we go, is the Sun. So this is actually a Leo card now. So a lot of fiery energy either way. I mean, we've seen a lot of Sagittarius energy all throughout. But, this technically would represent more of a Leo energy, even though the Strength card is their real card. The Sun, since they're ruled by the Sun, is often seen as a Leo energy as well. Now, this can just be saying that the connection with you, for fifth house matters usually relate to love and romance, maybe not to the level of marriage like seventh house matters, but this can just be saying the escalation of the connection between the two of you, definitely. Sun, another way that could play out is saying that they could be someone who's in the spotlight, and, again, maybe that goes back to what we were saying, maybe they're on the move a lot. But, I mean, obviously the energy looks very positive here, so overall, I'm less inclined to think that this is something that's going to be ending again, or ending for the first time ever and be an on again, off again thing. it does seem to be moving in a more positive direction with the sun on their side. So I feel like it's more like that. Maybe they bring you out of your comfort zone, but in an actual good way, basically. And the bottom of the deck on their side, we actually have the Ten of Wands, which is more Sagittarius energy, represents the last 10 degrees of Sagittarius. But, if we think about the regular Ten of Wands, it's someone putting in a lot of work, but at the same time, it might appear like a burden for them. I'm not necessarily picking up on that vibe here. It could just be saying that, they're actually putting in the work to actually help establish the connection. And on your side, at the bottom of the deck, we actually have the Eight of Coins, which is another energy of putting in work. It's actually a Virgo energy, the first 10 degrees of Virgo. So as far as the timeline, this might have even been something that you started working on right towards the very end of August. And now as September rolls in, you're actually starting to see it come to fruition. And this being a Virgo energy as well, and Virgo being your 11th house, this could definitely be what I was feeling earlier too, which is about some of you, this can be someone that you've just been friends with, and maybe that was the quote unquote distance, right? It's like, all right, we're just friends now. How do I escalate it to that next level? So that could be the way it's playing out for some of you. It's kind of an interesting reading. We'll see if the Oracle cards add any additional insight. So first, I'm going to try to pull some from the Mystic Moon Oracle deck here. And what I do is I pre-shuffle these before we start recording, and then I look for jumpers here. So first I'm going to be looking for any unspoken messages from you toward them, and then from them toward you after that. And since these are generals, if I shuffle for a while and nothing seems to be coming up, I just take that as a sign and keep it moving. So we'll see what we get, if anything. All right. So like I said, first we'll be looking for any unspoken messages from you toward them. All right, nothing coming up yet, but I'll give it a few more shuffles before we move on. All right, nothing there, so we'll see if there's any unspoken messages from them toward you. All right, looks like nothing coming up there either. I'll give it a couple more shuffles though. All right, got one. So the card that we got for them to you is the grass wasn't greener on the other side. So interesting. That can be what I was saying in the past. And, I have to say, even though it sounds a bit stereotypical, what that can mean then with that Sagittarius energy in the past, can be saying that that was the vibe they were taking on, which could seem like they're a bit non-committal and always on the move, right? So maybe they were non-committal with you in the past, and maybe you wanted something more serious, but maybe they were always on the go, and maybe that's what that represents there, because like I said, they look like someone that was at a distance with the way the two people appear, right? This almost looks like a ghostly type figure. So maybe that was the difficulty, in the past, they might have been the one who had a lot of people around, and, maybe that's where that stormy environment with the Two of Cups is coming into play, saying that, it took a while to really get them to commit, but, maybe they were just out and about doing their thing and then realized, okay, well, here I am being pulled back to Scorpio, right? And that could be where that transformation vibe is coming in too, like we said with the Pluto Persephone thing, where there's that pull. So that could be the way that this is playing out for some of you. All right, let's see if we get any additional insight from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, and then we'll wrap up. Same deal with this one. I pre-shuffled before we started recording. And for those of you who watch my general readings, this is one of the decks I always use, so you're probably used to it. got regeneration. So yeah, for some of you, this definitely can be something where again there might have been distance between you in the past, and now that's being closed. Whether they're moving back, or like I said, it's just that maybe they were dating other people and now they're realizing that what, maybe I should pursue something more serious with Scorpio. I don't know. Definitely get that vibe though. So let's see what the actual messages from the cards say. Here's the artwork, regeneration. There's the actual artwork, and then 46 is the number. All right, it says rebirth, second chances, new opportunities. The Oracle's message. Second chances are available to you now. Whatever opportunities you thought were dead are now revived in a more authentic, stronger form. Whatever you may have perceived as a failure or loss is now being replaced by something better and more powerful growing in its place. This rebirth is assured. Step into your new life. Destiny is being fulfilled in wondrous ways. So, definitely a pretty cool message there. And like I said, I can pick up on some of that vibe from the main spread too. And then the relationship message says the world is based on connections and relationships. No matter what loss has occurred in the past or even now, death and endings are only illusions. There is life after death, love after the loss, and in this moment, you are radiating the regenerative life force energy that makes you irresistible to love in all forms. Now is the time when you will see evidence of this new emergence. Can you feel it? Love is rising up to greet you. So yeah, like I said, maybe there was just some inner work that you did too with the fortune in the past, but like I said, we definitely see a lot of activity in the present, and then with that Two of Cups and the Eight of Wands, that could definitely point to, you guys getting a fresh start with someone. So like I said, it could have just been that you guys were just friends in the past. It was always something casual or whatever, and now it's actually escalating to a higher level. For others of you, this can be someone where it was a separation for a while for whatever reason. We already talked about some of what those reasons could be. Now they're coming back around. But yeah, overall, hopefully that resonated for you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll talk to you all next month. All right, bye.